fear narrows and
Yeah.
love opens. And so the commitment has to be to constantly stay open while refusing to disengage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that, I don't think there's anything harder to do.
No. No. I agree.
But yet there's probably nothing more important. I'm trying something a little bit different here, but toward the end of my interview with Sarah Bachelard, she flipped the script on me and asked about my experience of living through the current cultural tensions in the United States as a contemplative. It really led me to the point of speechlessness, and I found myself with tears welling up by the end. I wanted to share just this final section with you because, honestly, it just seems really important to me to share it. If you find this exchange like a little ray of light in fearful and angry times, then I hope you take that in and pass it along by sharing it with others. Maybe send a little love out into the world of social media or wherever you share. Though things may sometimes feel dark, you, us, we are never alone.
I mean, I guess I'd be interested to hear more from you. I don't have time for it, but, just your sense of this kind of unfolding contemplative thing in your context, in the context of the US.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's probably a huge number of ways in which you could respond to that question.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know if there's anything that's there for you.
That's a great question. Yeah, and like you said, there are so many different ways. But I do think that we are in a moment, not just in the church. In fact, in some ways, the church is just reacting to what I think is a broader cultural movement. That is this kind of a reactionary desire to kind of hunker down into a sectarian or tribal comfort zone that has all of these pitfalls, but that's not a powerful enough word to capture just how spiritually and morally dangerous that kind of position is. So I fluctuate between moments of kind of radical hope that this is a final gasp of an old way that's dying, and then a more radical fear that it could actually go the way, say, Europe went in the early 20th century, where people just keep hunkering down until those little violences explode socially and culturally. And so then that's like a political observation, a social, it's not just politics, it's a social, cultural observation. But then I find myself coming back to kind of like you said before. So then what is my stance individually, but what is the stance of the contemplative in a situation like that? And then of course I start thinking about the Bonhoeffers and how should I put this? Any pretensions of quietism and withdrawal in the contemplative life are shattered because it calls forth for a kind of radical commitment to love. But love not in like a mushy general kind of way, but like in concrete commitments to immigrants, to whoever's being scapegoated in the latest tweet. And how do you do that in a way that's really concrete and tangible and palpable and powerful? I don't know. But there's a lot of pressure towards fear coming from the culture. And fear narrows and love opens. And so the commitment has to be to constantly stay open while refusing to disengage. And that, I don't think there's anything harder to do.
No, I agree.
But yet there's probably nothing more important